I take this
Yes, sir.
opportunity to thank Dr. Kalada for taking such a huge step in the field of educations. I think in future this will be grand success, and I wish all the Edu2 Home team a very good luck to all of you. And as we know that global pandemic, I usually call it pendulum in physics because it can goes from one end to another end, has changed completely the teaching paradigm. The digital mode, the digital platform has taken the front seat, and this will continue in the near future also. So Edu2Home platform is a good initiative taken by Dr. Kaladar and his team, and this will enhance, all right, our teaching and learning. So we must provide our students with the best tools or the skills. So the need for the art is to incorporate some tech or some skills in our teaching modules. That's why we are here today. So school teaching and learning strategy in the post that means information plus visuals, some pictures, some charts, some uh, uh, visual things. So I must confess that I'm not very expert, but however, I would like to share some of my knowledge or informations with you today. So I will be talking about some skills, that is some memory techniques or memory skills, because memory can be enhanced, can be increased. Before that, I just want to show you one small tool that everybody should use it. And that tool is known as digitizer. So this is the digitizer with the pen here like this. And you are teaching some of your lessons. So I think now the price has gone down. If you check on the website, the price will be reduced very much. So each one of you, each educator, the teachers who is teaching, can use this digitizer. It's a pen, it's X pen. There's one thing I want to share with you. Second thing is I want to introduction part. I've done it. That is because of the pandemic. We have to start with the digital online mode. Now, what I want to discuss over here is what is memory. So when we talk about memory, some of the things that comes to in our mind is stuck is we stuck with the bad memories, we stuck with the good memories, photography memories, then visual memories, long lessons of practices memory, easy way to memorize the things, and there is no too old or too young to improve our memories. And if you train properly, you will never ever forget that particular topic or that particular matter. So I will take you to the next slide. That is, what is memory? So when we talk about memory, this is about is the ability to encode or decode, retain something in our brain. So there is a
मैडम
sensory
आपके
input in our
मोहम्मद
brain. Then after that, encode information. Then you can decode it. You can retain that information, and you can retrieve the information. Because this particular brain we are talking about, it can store billions and billions of so we can store billions of information, we can take it out, we can go to any extent, but at the same time there is a process to do that. So in order to understand about the memory process or skills. There are three types of memory the human brain has. One is known as the sensory memory. Second one is known as the short-term memory that you learn and you forget. Another one is known as the long-term memory. So when I talk about memory, this will remain forever. So when we talk about sensory memory, the senses like your visual, iconic memory, the visual sensory, auditory memory, that is auditory sensory. That means when I speak something, you can take it that and you can listen and you can put in your brain. Now, if you are paying attention to that particular visual or the auditory memory or iconic memory, then it goes to the short-term memory. And if you are not paying attention to that, then if you are not attended to that information, it is go to the dustbin. It has been discarded. Now, from the short-term memory, how you can go to the long-term memory, and there is a process, and the process is you have to rehearse over and over again. Then only then it can be encoded, and if it is encoded in the brain, it can lead to long-term memory. So this is the process of how to increase your memory. Now, some technique memory skills that I want to discuss over here today. Our brain, I'm talking about how can we improve it? So there are some techniques, and there are so many techniques are there, but here, because of the time constraints, because the Zoom platform is for 40 or 30 minutes at the most, so I will restrict to 3 or 4 skills only. First one is known as chunking technique. When we say chunk, it's a matter of things that you have to break down into smaller. Second one is, I can say, mnemonics. So it can be in the form of a sentence, or it can be in the form of phrase, it can be form of acronyms. And the third one that I want to say about is infographic. When we say infographic, that is information plus graph. So whatever I'm doing this presentation now is about infographic. That's the chunking techniques. When I say chunking techniques, that means these are the processes. First one is breaking down larger amount of information into smaller units. The second points that I want to highlight about here is identify similarities or the patterns. And the third one is whatever the information or whatever the lesson you are going to share, you must units. So if you follow this chunking technique, then you can enhance your memory. So one example is this. So for example, let us say the lesson you are going to teach today is light. So in light, for example, let us say there are 3-4 topics are there. What is reflection of light? Lenses, and let us say prism. So you can again, that topic 1 can be concept 1, 2, 3. You can again break down. And in concept 1 also item 1, 2, 3, I'm going to teach them. But if you put in this manner, what will happen is that the kids can learn, or can remember, can learn faster. And not only that, this you mind mapping, that is connection of so many dots taught in a particular day, in a particular thing. So we have to tell our students that as soon as the lesson is over, so prepare the mind mapping, the name of the topic, what information you have learned, what are the topics, they can do that, so that the learning can happen very fast and the memory can be enhanced. Second skill that I want to highlight over here is mnemonics. So when we say mnemonics, it is a tool or a skill that help us remembering certain facts or large amount of information into the form of rhyme, acronym, image, phrase, or sentences. For example, let us say, since I teach physics, okay, so we can remember the rainbow, the 7 colors in 2-3 ways. It's up to we have to teach the technique. It's up to the students how they can take it. It can remember as Vigyo, Vivgyor, Vigyo, or it can be remember as ROY, ROY, then G, then BIB, bib. So Roy G bib. You can remember that. Or you can remember Richard of York, get battle in vain. So this way the whole information can be put in order, can be remembered. This is known as acronym. So mnemonics is a very useful tool to remember very long sentences or long information into simpler one or easier one. So when you teach a particular subject, it can be physics, it can be biology, it can be chemistry, it can be English, any subject. So you must stress on this mnemonics. So you have to teach the skill now. Information, the kids can get information from anywhere, from the Googles, okay. But you have to teach the skill now. So when you are teaching inside the classroom or online, give them something so that the lesson will be interesting, or it can be impact their memory in their life. Since I teach physics, another example from electromagnetic spectrum, the continuation of that Vigyo. Vigyo is visible. Other than that, there are invisible, some radiations are there. So if you put them radio waves, microwaves, then infrared rays, visible light is known as Vigyo, then ultraviolet rays, then X-ray, gamma ray. Now, this particular whole, this colors, not colors, rather, colors we can say that, but invisible. So you can remember like this. Beyond red light is infrared rays. After that, microwaves. After that, radio waves. Then beyond violet is ultraviolet rays, then X-rays, then gamma rays. So you can remember, in my room, your ex-girlfriend. Or you can remember like this: raising Marshall's invade, Roy Z bip, that is visible, the Vigyo, using X-rays, so if gamma rays has the shortest wavelength and radio waves has the highest wavelength, so you can put the arrow mark upward direction. And if it is increasing order of frequency, the arrow mark will be in the downward direction. This is the way to teach to the student, so that so many informations can be shortened in one particular page or half of the page. So we have to teach this type of in our teaching. The third thing that I want to highlight over here is whatever the formula we are using in teaching physics or in chemistry or in any other subject, you take it. It's up to the teachers to organize it. The formulas are there. The many formulas are there. And in that formula, if you remember, the pattern is force into displacement. Now you can remember that weight force switch. So this W stands for work, this F stands for force, then S stands for displacement. Density as my dear Van. So M stands for mass, D stands for density, and V stands for volume. So my dear Valentine. So if you are teaching the kids in this way, they will not say, I'm sorry to tell you that since I teach physics, so I'm using all the physics terminology, but those teachers who are teaching other chemistry or biology or something, they can use the same technique. So since we are teaching, let us say I'm teaching physics, I will concentrate on this. For example, let us say to any class, maybe 7, maybe 8, maybe 9, wherever the chapter comes, there are 3 primary colors known as red, blue, and green. Now, when these are known as read good books, your pocket money. So yellow, then cyan, then magenta. So if you teach in this way, and if you combine all these colors, it gives you white color. What we call is the white color, the sunlight color. So if you teach like that, then the kids can remember faster. This is from my side. I have a small video. If time permits, I can show you this small video. Is that okay? Or shall I stop it? Rines?
No, sir, you may continue.
Okay, I'll just share a small video. Please watch this video.
Sure, sir.
This video, I'd like to demonstrate 5 memory techniques you can use to help memorize lists, facts, and other items for school and life. I will demonstrate each technique by memorizing the first 25 of the 50 states of the United States. In order to memorize 25 states, I will chunk the material and memorize each chunk differently. I will use the following memory techniques. I will create a sentence. I will create a mnemonic device. I will use a graphic organizer or picture. I will first chunk the 25 states into 5 drives, and I will memorize them in alphabetical order. Images I have of each state. This way I'm connecting new content to images I already have stored. The sentence goes like this. On my trip to the United States, I saw football in Alabama, froze in Alaska, saw the desert of Arizona, saw Bill Clinton in Arkansas, and stayed at the Hotel California. 5. I will use a mnemonic device. The states are Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, and Georgia. So I would use CCD Flying Gator. It's silly, but it will give me a cue or anchor to help remember these words. Next, I will draw a picture to help me remember the 5 states. Here's the picture. I have an I for Idaho, an ill person for Illinois, Next, I will sing a song for the next 5 states to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. The flag of Kansas, horses of Kentucky, gators of Louisiana, lobsters of Maine, merrily, 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 merrily down to Maryland. Anyway, anything helps. Any song you like. Again, songs can be very powerful and help you remember the words. And finally, for the last 5 states, I will use a technique called linking. Basically, you have an anchor, and then all of the words that you will memorize are linked to this anchor. The story into a coffee shop, an MI on their shirt. They began to order a soda and had a sip, and then said it was sour. The word Mass is for Massachusetts. The MI on the shirt reminds me that the following states all start with MI. The word began is for Michigan, soda is for Minnesota, sip for Mississippi, and sour for Missouri. Memorizing lists and material this way takes a little more time to set up the stories and pictures, but it greatly improves recall. I also find it less boring than just staring at a sheet of paper. I was able to recall 24 of the 25 states on my first attempt, and all 25 on my second. Hope this helps in memorizing, and please remember, Moo Math uploads math videos and study tips. Please subscribe and
the thesis over here is infographic. Use infographic in your teaching because it is a graphic visual representations of informations or data or knowledge intended to present information quickly and clearly. So when you are making a slide to present or to teach something, there should be less text and more or two or more pictures should be there, but too many pictures again might confuse the students. So I'm sure, I think it is little helpful to you all, or any other? Renis, is that time? We can discuss something?
Yeah, of course. Now 10:20
Ha,
only.
and anything that we can discuss over here? My presentation is over.
Hello, anybody? There?
Anybody have a questions or something like that we can discuss?
No, sir.
Do you have any?
No, any questions?
Okay. So, I think I very short. I thought that I have to make very short presentation. That's why I made only 10 slides. Otherwise, I could have done more than that. With this, I will end my presentations. Dr. Kaladar, are you there? Dr. Kaladar?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think my
I think
presentation is very short.
now. Yeah. No, not that much. Anyway, I think it was very nice and fantastic. Unfortunately, this is the first time we are arranging this program for our teachers in the platform of Edu2Home. Already now you are already given the presentations very nicely. I think right now only 27 participants are there. We have expected 30.
Okay.
30 teachers thought about to participate in today. Out of the 27, one yourself, one myself, and Renish, and Ms. Dishma, who is acting as the principal of Edu2Home online school. We all of us are the four. So there was only 51. But anyway, I think this is a great starting. And all the teachers also enriched by your provoking thoughts and videos of this lecture, and especially the short film or something displayed over there. Anyway, I'm not taking much more time in this present morning. I'm going to hand over this platform to our respected Madam Mrs. Ishma to give away a thanks to and all the teachers who participated over here. I think Madam Ishma, you're the hello.
Yeah. Your voice is breaking. Yeah.
Hello, Madam. Achha, Madam. Hello, Madam. Hello, Madam. Ishma, Madam. Hello.
Still 9 minutes to go.
Hello.
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
Sir, anyway, I think especially in the southern part of India, I think maybe sometimes they will do this also. Yeah. Anyway, I think especially in the southern part, many of the people are facing. Hello. Anyway, I think especially in the southern part, many of the people that are using this program, we are not going to talk the state of the training program in this program. The state of the training program in this program only by today. And especially now we are planning. Anyway, I think we will reach with this program. We are not going to stop such kind of training program this program by today, the coming days also. That's not here, I think. Anyway, I am taking the opportunity to give thanks and. Great very Sunday, the very morning also we prepare and I'm over here and this other teachers who on the platform. So more exciting and thanks on behalf of Edu2Home. I think you're hearing me, right, sir? Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. We can wind up.
Yeah.
There is 7 minutes to go, but we can wind up. Okay. Thank you very much.
I think now this is the teachers is also. Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.